How much has this changed since you were in college?
Yeah, when I was in college, it was more like fried chicken, like a prepackaged processed food.
Things that look different than they did in the 90s. Cafeteria lunch, college fashion, and interviews with the Secretary of Education.
Can I have something with a little bit of jamón, poco de queso, pepino por favor, y un poco de lechuga, y eso es todo. So when I see folks that I can tell speak Spanish, sometimes it's a nice way to say hello in their native language, makes them feel seen a little bit more.
Miguel Cardona, America's Secretary of Education.
So growing up, knowing Spanish and learning English and being bilingual and bicultural gave me access to so much more. I saw so much more. I experienced so much more.
Cardona calls bilingualism a superpower and has made multilingual, multicultural programs a cornerstone of his time with the Biden administration. He celebrates diversity and promotes inclusion across economic, racial, and gender lines. But that did not earn him a warm welcome at the Republican-led House hearing recently on the education budget.
It is frustrating. I think we should be focusing on what our parents and students want and what they need, and not using the time together to discuss topics that are very difficult but are not even connected to the budget.
How do you resonate with a growing share of Americans who feel that there's too much government in our schools?
I agree with that. I think in the states that are trying to censor or trying to change laws, the state is overreaching into the classroom. Keep the politics out of it. My job is not to micromanage from DC. My job is to make sure we have the resources, support, and that we're giving our schools the tools that they need to do their job.
It's a reminder most of Cardona's life was spent in education, not politics. I know this because the internet told me. Do you ever look at your own Wikipedia page?
No.
No idea what's on there.
Well, I'll find out.
All right, we're gonna fact check. You tell me if it's true or not. You started as a 4th grade teacher.
Yes.
All right, true. At age 27, you were named principal, youngest principal in the state.
Correct.
Spanish was your first language, and you struggled to learn English when starting kindergarten.
I think struggled is a strong word. I think that's maybe sensationalizing a little bit. I learned Spanish first, and I dominated English once I started school.
All right, we need to make a Wikipedia edit there. Undergrad, Central Connecticut State University.
Blue Devils.
Graduate school, UConn.
4 times.
You married Miss Connecticut.
I did, yeah. She wasn't Miss Connecticut when I married her, because that's against the rules. But my childhood sweetheart, Marissa, is my wife. We've been married 20 years, and she was Miss Connecticut. I married up, that's for sure.
Cardona doesn't miss an opportunity to talk about closing the achievement gap and how he believes the secret formula includes better funding of our schools, our school teachers, and programs focused on making education more accessible and inclusive for our incredibly diverse country. Your agenda, some people look at that and say, that's woke, I don't want that in my kids' schools. How do you combat that?
Esa misma persona no entienden lo que yo estoy diciendo. I just spoke in another language and I can connect with people differently. This is not about being woke. This is about recognizing that this country was built on diversity. And what makes this country unique and special, and in my opinion, better than any other country, is that we come from different walks of life under the same flag. We're American.
Cardona and the Biden administration did unite many Democrats and Republicans with their recent proposal on transgender athletes. Conservatives blasted it for how it would prohibit broad bans on trans girls playing girls' sports. But many progressives ripped it too, for it would allow local school districts to ban trans athletes in certain instances when issues of fairness arise. What do you say to the parent of a high school girl who says, I don't want transgender girls competing against my daughter?
Yeah, it's a proposal right now. What we want to make sure is all students feel welcome. We're taking into account the students who are transgender, but we're also taking into account perspectives of students who are competing and are concerned that they might not be able to compete because of the rules. We have elected bullies right now going after kids. Look, it's not a black and white issue. It's very difficult, it's very nuanced. And our proposal just ensures that all students have a fair shake.
Cardona calls his priorities today a product of the education he got growing up in Connecticut, as a Spanish speaker, as an automotive studies student, and as a first-generation college grad.
You know, as Secretary of Education, I'm living out a dream. I never intended to come here, but I'm blessed, and I'm so fortunate that because of those experiences, I'm able to be the best me as Secretary.